At one point, Khamzat Chimaev and Darren Till were the unlikeliest bromance in UFC history.
It's Team Smesh Bros for life. Gonna take over, aren't we?
Kill everybody, smash everybody.
For a couple of years, they were attached at the hip, constantly getting themselves in trouble, and became like brothers.
It's a little bit sickening. It is. They are so in love.
I know.
The pair of them.
It is.
They're sitting next to each other all the time at dinner. I'm like, I know you're buddies. You don't have to sit next to one another.
But as the years passed, they drifted in the complete opposite directions, with Chimaev claiming Till was a bad influence on his career.
You don't have discipline, bro. That's why you're not close to me now. You're in Liverpool.
As a result, the Smesh Bros aren't a thing anymore. Chimaev is still at the top of the UFC, while Till is chasing boxing matches with YouTubers. So just how did the two unlikely UFC fighters become so close? And how did they end up drifting apart? Before MMA fans had ever heard the name Khamzat Chimaev, Liverpool's Darren Till had already burst on the UFC scene.
Fucking everyone and anyone, I don't care. I'm not scared of anyone.
He was a striking expert, an undefeated title challenger, and a fan favorite seemingly overnight thanks to his pretty wild character. But after his failed attempt at the welterweight title against Tyron Woodley, Till's career capitulated. He went from undefeated in 18 fights to losing 5 of his next 6.
I think I had a little bit of a hangover, yeah. I think at that point in my career, the training was getting a little bit much. I was suffering quite a lot with injuries, but I wasn't taking time to sort of like heal and that, so I was rushing into fights. I think I was probably still chasing the title. I was like, no, I can get it right away.
And during his downfall, another outspoken, entertaining fighter had become a sensation.
Yeah, I got a gun for everyone. I kill everybody. Allah Akbar.
His personality was everything Darren Till's was, just multiplied by 10. And funnily enough, their first interaction wasn't as friends, but as potential enemies.
I'll fight you, of course, you know I will. But you know I beat you, right? You know I beat you easy. You know this. You know this.
Cage gonna show it, brother. You're always welcome. If you wanna fight with me, always welcome, brother. I think I can smash you easy, brother. But
You
because
think smash me easy?
yeah, of course, brother.
Of course, their friendly banter prevailed, because after Till was outgrappled and submitted by Derek Burnson, Chimaev invited a potential rival and Till out to Stockholm to come train with him and work on his wrestling.
Till, why don't you come out and get some training with me? And I was like, well, okay, I will. So I spoke to my coach, Colin, the team coach. I said, Colin, do you mind if I go, get some rounds in with this guy now who everyone's saying is the next beast now? And now we've clicked like never before. And every day we say to each other, he says to me now, and he's in my ears, like, Till, we're gonna take over. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy is making me into the 2018 Till that I once was. Like, when I thought I could walk through walls.
And in a world where MMA fighters frequently ask others to train with them knowing it likely won't ever happen, Darren Till actually temporarily left his home in Liverpool to better himself in Sweden. But the nerves were there.
Got my first day in All Stars. It's always nervous going to a new gym, but I'm happy. Should be good, should be fun.
With their fighting styles being so different, they actually made for incredible training partners. Chimaev would go in and shoot a takedown inside 10 seconds, while Till's game was all about staying on his feet and turning the fight into a striking battle. But while the training was beneficial for both men, particularly for Till, a bromance was blossoming even on their first day.
What's good? Nice to work with best guys, in the world. I love it. A lot of things. Now we work on the grappling and wrestling. He learned something. Next time we work on the striking. I learned something. Like work like that. I'm happy he's here. Yeah, who is he?
Good, yeah. Gonna learn a lot, mate.
According to Chimaev's manager, guys struggled to get along with Khamzat at first, but with Till, it was different.
A lot of people doesn't click good with Khamzat, but they click like, I don't know, like they've known each other for years. Maybe because they've talked so much shit to each other over on the internet, but like they click, and that is important, and I see them connect very well.
Till was in a different country, out of his element and with no friends around him, but Khamzat immediately took him under his wing. And as the weeks and months went by, the two became extremely close, to the point where the Scouser from Liverpool and the Chechen superstar called each other brothers. They even had a nickname as a duo, the Smesh Bros.
It's Team Smash Bros for life. Gonna take over, aren't we?
All of a sudden, Till and Chimaev were joined at the hip. Whether it was on YouTube and MMA interviews around the world, or Till being in Chimaev's corner, the two were always together.
What a love affair you guys have right now. I mean, have you guys left each other's side in the last couple months? I guess you came to England for a couple days, right there? But otherwise, it's all, you guys are together the whole time.
He left me 2 days for
I left him 2 days, and look what happens when I come back. He fucking beats the shit out of me.
Don't do any more of that shit, bro.
I won't. I won't leave.
They became the most unlikely comedy duo in MMA, but the primary goal stayed the same. Chimaev was going to the very top, and he wanted to drag his new friend Darren Till up with him. They were training hard, pushing each other, and it sounded like Till was getting back on the straight and narrow after some speculation his motivation had waned in recent years.
I know me and Khamzat are together, and we're like, everyone's loving the duo, but it's such an honour to be training here at All Stars, and with Khamzat, he trains super hard, he's super dedicated, and he knows what he wants to be. And I've had like a tough past year or two, the tough past 2 years, so I feel like this is what I've needed to like get me back up there, see him working like this for me to then do it the same.
They had the same locker room banter, the same wild personality, but also the same proclivity for pushing things a bit too far. And more often than once, it landed them in a lot of trouble. We already know that over the years, Darren Till has found himself at the center of controversy.
The club was just going insane. I felt like everyone was having murder when I think back to it. And some lad come behind me and stabbed me, and I didn't feel it. I had a white t-shirt on, because when I looked at it after on the cameras, you see what happens. So I'm just like hitting everyone in my way. And this lad comes up and he stabs me once, and then he walks away. But I haven't moved or anything. I'm just fighting. I haven't felt it. And then he comes back around. And he's like, "Fucking hell, this fucking kid's still fighting," and he does it again.
Aside from being stabbed as a teenager, he was arrested in Tenerife for trashing a hotel room and stealing a taxi. He's been arrested in Stockholm for drunk driving, and he's also been to court in Liverpool for driving without a license. And while it's less documented, Chimaev is on record to say street fighting was a near daily occurrence for him in Sweden. So when you put the two together, it's guaranteed chaos. Usually, it's just smaller, silly things.
Thing's funny. I don't know if you will find it funny. So
Come on.
we're training at the UFC PI in Vegas, and obviously all fighters eat free and stuff like that. But they have like a fridge full of like protein drinks and monsters and like these nice like milk drinks they do. So me and Khamzat were getting our food the other day, and he looks at me and he's got like his big UFC bag, and he goes, starts just ruffling everything in his UFC bag. So then the next day I was coming out to like the changing rooms and I heard one fighter saying to like his friend, "I've been coming here every day now for the past week and there's no drinks."
But other times, it's far more reckless. Just like the time the two almost killed themselves and UFC legend Michael Bisping.
My God, because I was in a car with them, with Khamzat and Darren, both taking it in turns to drive. I almost died. Khamzat's driving like an absolute goddamn maniac. And I mean a maniac. On the wrong side of the road,
Oh my God.
purposely dodging traffic. I'm in the back, screaming, putting my seatbelt on. I'm like, stop, stop, stop. They pull up the gas station. I went in to buy some milk for my coffee in the morning. And I come out, they're doing donuts like maniacs in the car park. I'm like, guys, you're going to get arrested. I get in the car, Darren Till starts doing more donuts, just misses the fuel pump by about this much. I'm like, oh my God, let me out of this car. If they make it to the fight, if they don't die, I'm going to be very, very impressed.
And while you can definitely look at the funny side of this incident, their carefree attitudes went beyond just fooling around to the point where it began to affect Khamzat's career negatively. At UFC 279, Chimaev was set to face Nate Diaz at welterweight. But on weigh-in day, Khamzat stepped on the scales and he wasn't even close to making weight.
178 and a half.
Not that bad.
178 and a half, the official weight for Khamzat Chimaev.
In the end, the card was reshuffled and he fought Kevin Holland. But he actually blames Darren Till for being the reason he missed weight so badly.
Before I met you, I never missed my weight.
Oh, are you really putting it on me?
Yeah, of course, because you eat every day chocolates, brother. I couldn't stop as well.
You must be joking me, Khamzat.
I didn't eat chocolate around you.
You don't
I
have discipline, bro. That's why you're not close to me now. You're in Liverpool. Otherwise, I took you here, bro.
Although Chimaev is having a joke, there's clearly some element of truth in what he's saying. Until you don't see them together anymore, from training every day, hanging out after training and more, to essentially nothing. So perhaps Chimaev didn't want to be surrounded by Darren Till's so-called lack of discipline, and now their trajectories have taken them even further apart. For Chimaev, he stayed on the straight and narrow. If anything, he's actually calmed down a little bit, especially after becoming a father.
I didn't think about it could be wrong, but I just think, this good thing I went there and could be some wrong thing I did, in my life. But now you do anything before you do, like you think about like if my son grow up, how he gonna see me, how he will think about me, what kind of man my father is.
But for Till, it's a completely different story. After a good showing in a losing effort against Dricus du Plessis, Till asked the UFC to let him out of his contract early due to a bunch of injuries and just needing a break.
Give me time off from the UFC now, and to this day I'm thinking only like of 1, 2 or 3 who they've actually released from a contract. Like, they don't just regularly do that, but I went about it the right ways, the right avenues. I was like, listen, I'm not going to sign with another MMA organisation, I'm going to give me body time. I said, in a few years I'll be back if you'll have me. And they were like, Till, the door's always open, we think you're a stand-up guy, we love you, you're a great guy for the company.
From there, he kind of faded into the shadows for a little while. But in mid-2024, he returned in a random boxing match against an unknown boxer in Dubai, and the fight ended in an all-out brawl.
A fight just erupted in the middle of the cage. A big fight happened. Oh wow, everyone is in.
Strangely enough, Abdurrozak fought that same evening, the guy that Hasbullah used to beef with. But being the high-profile name that he is, Till was scheduled to face Tommy Fury in January in another boxing match.
I'm going to fucking absolutely do a number on him. I'm going to walk him down and obliterate him. I am. And he knows it. I can tell he's swallowed it already, so, it's just one of them.
Listen, Darren, you got to walk into the firing line, mate. And everyone that I've sparred from the Olympics who's turned over pro, it's different watching me on the television.
Well, at the end of the day, if I can't beat it, I'll just kick you in the face in there. How about that?
Well, that's not going to happen, Darren.
Well, it obviously is. How are you going to stop it?
Because we're eating the cage now in a boxing ring, and you're going to find out that boxing is very different to MMA.
I'll just kick you straight in your face.
Listen,
you won't know what's
you kick me straight in the face, well, that's it. It's going to be a proper fight then, isn't it?
But then I'll win because I'm a proper fighter.
Well, you're not
a boxer.
You're not
I don't walk into rooms. I don't walk in a room like this and see boxing and go, shit. I walk in, no one in here is a threat to me.
But there were comments that Till didn't look in great shape in the lead-up, with speculation that his motivation had dropped once again. In the end though, Tommy Fury pulled out of the fight, with fear that Till would head-kick him during the fight. At least that's the situation at the time of recording.
I bullied them at the press conference, and now John was leaving the press conference saying that they were pulling out because of the tactics I was saying I was going to use. It's all mental warfare. It's all mental warfare. I don't need to kick Tommy Fury in the head to fucking beat him. I was going to absolutely box his head off and knock him flat out. So, you've showed your true colours. Fighting family in my ass.
Of course, Till would have earned good money and probably had his eyes set on KSI or Jake Paul afterwards. But chasing YouTubers for money fights never seemed like his style. Till wanted to be the best, and he had all the tools to become a UFC World Champion without a shadow of a doubt. And with Chimaev's help, he could have got there, but for whatever reason, it wasn't to be. I'm sure Chimaev and Till will always be friendly, but for the foreseeable future, the Smash Bros are a thing of the past.